You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Tuesday the 1st of July 2025 and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and I don't know if it's because of the heat, but I really struggled to motivate myself again today. So it didn't help that I slept very badly last night, and I kind of got up thinking, right, I need to do something about this. Part of the problem is that I've moved bedrooms, and the reason I've done that is because what I wanted was to use my larger bedroom as a study, come spare room, and the smaller bedroom at the back of the house as just my personal bedroom. And I think I've mentioned I had a blackout blind put in that bedroom. Now the problem is the bedroom at the back of the house, it's where the sun sets. It's sort of, I don't think it's actually west. Oh no, it is actually west facing. So that room gets a lot hotter in the evenings, and I've tried various different things. I've tried having an airflow through the room by keeping all the windows open before I go to bed. I've tried keeping the blind and the curtains closed to keep the heat out. None of it's worked, and I had quite an uncomfortable night last night. So I kind of decided I was going to buy myself some kind of fan, a big, one of those expensive Dyson fans. So I even drove into Milton Keynes to go and do that in the morning. And when I looked into it, all a fan really does is it moves air around. So if it's already hot air, it doesn't actually make it any cooler. It just blows it at you faster. And I just thought, is that going to do what I want it to do? And I decided for that kind of money, it needed to actually cool the room down, and it probably wasn't going to. So I didn't. And that kind of set me off on the wrong foot for the rest of the day. So I got home and tried to kind of make myself be productive, but yeah, it's just not going to happen, and didn't happen. So that's frustrating. So I've had 2 days where I've done absolutely nothing. So well done me. Yeah, and again, I'm going to go to bed tonight in that. Well, I don't know. I might actually move back into my old room, because at the moment it doesn't really matter. I don't need the blackout blind so much at the moment because I'm not working, so it doesn't matter. I don't need the blackout blind to keep me asleep during the day, for example. But it is quite nice because the blackout blind has basically meant that when the sun comes up, inevitably at 4 a.m, it hasn't been waking me up. Although I've been waking up naturally because I've not totally recovered from the jet lag from Singapore. And one of the reasons I haven't is because I've been allowing myself to get up early and go to bed early. So, yeah, I don't know. A bit unsatisfactory, so I can't decide what I'll do tonight. Today has felt generally cooler than yesterday, so perhaps I should try and sleep in there again, or I might go back into the other room. I don't know. I haven't decided. And so I tried to do other things to get me interested back into the writing, but it just wasn't going to happen. So I've watched a load more Glastonbury. So I watched Pulp, which was really good. I watched The Prodigy, which was okay. I mean, Keith Flint's no longer with us, and the guy they've got doing the job instead was okay. And I do think it was quite nice that they did Firestarter as an instrumental, because that was the song, that Keith Flint was famous for fronting. I'm sure he did other stuff as well, but that's the one where, he's famous for doing the vocals. Yeah, and I also did watched a set by a guy called Miles Smith, who's someone I probably wouldn't have heard of. If I didn't listen to the top 40 regularly, I probably wouldn't have heard of. But he's I don't know how old he is, probably early 20s. But he's from Luton, and he's done a couple of really good songs. So actually, when his set, he's done enough so that, and it was only one of the shorter sets he did. He did like I think it was a 42-minute set. But he had enough songs that I recognised the opening song and the end song, and one or two in the middle as well. So that's pretty good. I'm going to rewatch Lola Young tomorrow because, if I'm honest, I skipped through it and got to the end of the set when she did Messy when I last watched it. And then I'm going to have to decide whether I want to watch any other stuff. There's a load of artists I've never even heard of that I certainly won't be watching, but I might watch Gracie Adams, an American artist who's had a couple of reasonable songs. I mean, she's not as big as, she wasn't a headliner or anything, but she did a set that might be quite good. And I'm going to look out for any other British artists that I've heard of, that I could watch. I mean, I've heard of the 1975, but they're not my favourite. I might actually try and work out how many songs I know by some of these other bands and then decide whether to watch them. Or you never know, I might do some bloody writing, who knows. So getting up and failing to achieve a solution to the coolness of my room kind of knocked me a bit this morning, and I'm not feeling great, and my mental health isn't great at the moment anyway. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think tomorrow what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and leave the house again, because that was a good sign this morning that I actually went and left. But I'm going to maybe try and go into town somewhere there's a nice coffee shop. Although that's the other thing that's upsetting me about town. My favourite coffee shop, which is called Cooney's Coffee and Comics. The lease is due for renewal in whenever it is, and they've decided not to renew it because it's too expensive. And it's the best coffee shop in town, nicest staff, best menu, nicest coffee, and it's just not financially sustainable. So, screw you, Daventry County Council or West Northants Council, or whoever it is that's decided to price that slot out of Cooney's reach. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. In fact, it would probably, if it wasn't for the fact we've still got our amazing bookshop, it would probably be enough for me to stop going into the town centre. And if suddenly Books ever closes, then I really will stop. Anyway, that's enough from me waffling on today. Sorry it wasn't more productive. Hopefully I'll be better and achieve something more tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.